Do you know what it's like to be on the bill and to play for 15 minutes and the only people there to see you are the other bands and their girlfriends?
From Buffalo, New York, it's the Struggle is Real Buffalo Music Podcast.
Welcome to the Struggle is Real Buffalo Music Podcast, where we can't ruin your day in 13 seconds, but it's not from a lack of effort. I'm your host, Ryan Garnett, and this effort, now that I'm finally over 40, has my mom constantly having to assure me that I am still cool.
Ryan, for all the 3 cents it's worth, you are still cool in my book. And for those of us new to the program, I'm Cassidy Dwan, here co-hosting in Function.
So on today's episode 89 of the Struggle is Real Buffalo Music Podcast, we are going to forego a guest and talk about... Wait, is this right?
What?
Ourselves?
This podcast?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. On this episode, we're going to talk about the relaunch of our Patreon for both the Struggle is Real podcast and for WNYmusic.com.
We're also going to play new music from Sir Quillz, Trey Ocho,
TR3ACHO,
and 45 Gov't featuring Miggie Jean.
But first. Oh, I have a thing for that.
All right, so we've been gone for a little while with New Year's, our best of 2021 episode, which is absolutely worth checking out if you haven't heard it yet. So there's been a lot of shows happening.
Right.
So I just want to launch into that. We started our new podcast called The Struggle is Real, Our Favorite Albums. We've recorded 2 episodes. Well, we live did 2 episodes. I do want to say, it's kind of more fun. I don't know if it's more fun because it's new, but the format of being there sight unseen and getting to go through someone's project, someone's baby from start to finish is a whole different notion than this podcast can tackle just snippets with tracks on the show. Sure.
So, I also like being able to, with an artist in that environment and stage and live audience, ask questions. I loved having the opportunity to say to Brian Dubé as he was playing these really heart-wrenching songs, "Who hurt you?" That was really great. And he has to answer because there's people there,
Yeah.
How great to be at Revolution Gallery. We talked about how our friends at Daily Planet were hosting us at the coffee shop and in the new locale for our most recent episode, just down the street.
So those have been great. The Brian Dubé episode is available on YouTube. It's also, you can find it on WesternNewYorkMusic.com. The Christina Stock episode.
What happened, Ryan?
It's a long story.
Is the struggle real?
The struggle is real. I got there at 6 thinking all I was going to have to do was write questions. We had some production problems, and next thing I know, I'm using hardware I've never used and software I've never used on a computer I've never used, trying to get it all to go through the PA system while recording. So unfortunately, we didn't get that episode taped. Like, the one microphone that I managed to get to work didn't really do its job. So
just in.
Whoa. It did its job. It wasn't broken.
A little bird in the room says
that's
maybe.
That's reasonable. That's Branden, our producer.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, so for
by nature of COVIDity, and for sound reasoning, I understand Revolution Gallery's policy as far as the nature of not allowing unvaccinated, or let's put it this way, fully vaccinated persons in the door. But as a podcast and production team is concerned, we didn't have all of our marbles.
We
lost some marbles.
We didn't have our full roster
that night.
but
It was a great show.
Yeah, it was a fantastic show.
You had to be there. I guess you've got to come out.
That's where I'm getting
right
at here. So on February 17th, we're going to have our next episode. We have Passed Out doing the aforementioned and how it pertains to nothing, I believe.
That's a lot.
And we have Over and Outs, I'm Okay, I'm Just Tired. We're doing 2 EPs. So the fun part is we don't know if it'll get recorded or not. So you should be there if you want to see it because it might just be there. And that's how the Christina Stock
I
show
think now
worked.
that we know what we're going to tackle, we can make it work. But, you know, it's always a fingers crossed type of effort, right?
Absolutely. So we also had, we did a show for my 40th birthday with Dead Orchids, Chucky Campbell, Headspace, which is a new band featuring 2 of the 3 guys from Scarecrow Show, and Hooked on Cassiophonics. That was a ton of fun. On December 30th, we had Ian McCune come back again. It seems like it's like an every 3 months kind of deal, which
is right. You can't get tired of that every 3 months.
Absolutely. We also had Brian Dubé as well. We had Tuesday night, and we had Tough Old Bird on the bill. I had never heard Tough Old Bird. They're like folksy Americana. There's like some country in there.
As an ensemble or a solo?
I was typically they play with, it's just the 2 guys playing together, but now they have a 4-piece band. Okay. And it was really impressive, and they drew really well considering it was the Thursday before New Year's and it was like 4 degrees out.
Right.
So we had a really good show, and I can't wait to see Tough Old Bird again. Like, I really enjoyed them.
Nice.
And then we also, on January 4th, we had the Cryptics, Dead Orchids, Gunther's Radio, and Starjuice at Mohawk's Place.
How are the Starjuice doing?
Oh, they're so good.
I want to know about that. I love that.
They're
I mean, I like everybody else on that bill. I think you're lining up good things for these shows, Ryan. Kudos.
Thanks. But Starjuice is actually, they're planning their tour. I think they leave on like February 15th. They're going for a week or 2. So good luck to them.
I'd like to see a show with Velvet Bethany and Starjuice.
We did that. I'd
like to see it, though, because I missed it.
Oh. Granted, I will do it.
Thank you.
So in addition to that, we also had Festivus, which is the big Buffalo Infringement Festival fundraiser for the year. We had a packed bill with, I'm trying Make Out Tactics and Cheap Peach and Dead Orchids and Hooked on Cassiophonics and Spud and Christina Stock and the Burlesque, the Misdemeanors.
Oh, right.
I think that's everyone.
It was a good time.
It was so much fun. But then there was the merchandise.
Yeah.
So first off, this falls on me more to start. We kind of delayed voting on infringement stuff just because things were moving kind of slow with winter and everything.
Even submissions were hard to come by this.
Exactly. So I look at the calendar and we're like 8 days out, and I'm like, oh shit. So I call Sean Mabb, who's the guy who does our T-shirts. Who, find him on Facebook. Great prices, great turnaround. I cannot recommend him enough. And I'm like, hey, can we have some merchandise done by the 17th? And he's like, of January? And I'm like, not so fast. And he did the turnaround for us. And then, so what was the whole story behind the pickup here? I remember a lot of phone calls and worrying.
I do love the opportunity to save the day. And I can't always do it.
You did save the day.
I can't always do it. But when I can do it and I can take a little road trip, the timing of this was key because we did orchestrate, instead of me driving all the way to the other side of Rochester, this middle pit stop zone target parking lot situation where if we both left the house, we could drive about, a cool 45 or so to meet in the middle. And the swapping of the merchandise was not as seedy as some other business transactions, I'm sure.
Things that commonly take place in the Target parking lot.
Because here I am in the back of the Target parking lot. I'm waiting for dude to pull up, hand me some boxes, carry the boxes, throw them in the trunk. But then it's back to Nietzsche's.
Oh yeah.
Got to get there because the show must go on, and it is the first time unveiling of new merchandise.
Absolutely.
And with it, the logo for the New Year's Festival. So I felt like I was kind of Santa Claus.
You were?
I felt like I was bringing the goods.
Yeah.
It was a very Christmas, festive, spirited
It is
adventure.
Festivus after all.
Yeah. Was the weather shitty? I think the weather was shitty.
I'm sure the weather was shitty.
I think the weather was shitty, But I had some time in solitude to blare some music and drive. It was great. Glad it worked out.
Excellent. Thank you for saving
And I'm
the
glad I
day.
got the new hoodie, and you should get one too.
Oh yeah,
There's T-shirts, there's hoodies.
I think this is the third year we've worked with Sean.
Yeah.
Those hoodies, I mean, the shirts are really comfortable as well. Those hoodies are so soft. They're
You know what I like
they're
about
really
it?
nice.
It's ambush advertising. Like the logo and design being on the back of the hoodie, but having a plain solid gray hoodie front. It's very much that one removes their jacket and it's like, oh, what's on your hoodie?
Exactly.
You know?
So
And it's a cool design.
absolutely, it's a really nice design. And so, if you're interested in that, you can just reach out to the podcast about buying it. And the cool thing is that since we now have all of this year's merch, all of last year's merch is half price. And we still have a whole bunch of the 2019 merch since that was virtual, and that has a really cool logo too. So all that stuff is $10 a t-shirt or $15 for these super soft, comfortable hoodies. So if that's your actually, hold on. Oh no, it was dirty.
Oh, dude.
I was actually going to wear that sweatshirt today, but it had a big grease stain in front of
Fail.
me. I'm sorry.
All right.
Anyway.
What else?
I was going to mention upcoming shows, which I already did with the Passed Out and the Over and Out show.
True.
Is there anything else you want to talk about before we jump into our first song?
I'm ready for songs.
Let's hear a song. So, this is Coup de Grace by Trey Ocho. It's his newest single. I love his energy. I love his flow. I love the way he works with words.
The whole style
he's
of
just,
Trey Ocho is something that's admirable.
He's just
and captivating.
Yeah, he's a captivating performer, and his lyrics seem more thoughtful than 95% of the other local rappers.
It's so
I hear.
educated. It's poetic, and there's so many little nuances when you're listening. You're like, wait a minute, backtrack. Did he just say? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So
check that out, and we'll be right back here on the Struggle is Real Buffalo Music Podcast on WesternNewYorkMusic.com.
Obligated listening for the cognitively dissonant. Watch the kid crooning in the middle of a mosh pit, rooting for the supervillain, looting in a protest, knowing then he can't even vote yet. Undergoing death-defying means with a loaded tech, a definite rebellion against those who say they know best. Own set of rules in a room full of wads, both shoes untied, tripping like a fun guy. Listening to Moonlight Sonata in a Hyundai. Sometimes I wonder if I ever get my due props. Look at this face, yo, I shouldn't have to do a lot. Looking at society, begging for a coup de grace. I used to be a suit and tie rocker, now I my whole face up and blame it on my bosses. City of degenerates, lawn full of dogs, sizzling skin from a chemical respondent.
You might catch me in the woods, getting janky on a still. Pinky in the brain verse Anky and Lil. Modern day times, get the thanks for being real. If we could break bread together, we could make a meal. I'll make a couple blue face $100 bills. I'm close to over the hill, I'm aiming at a MILF. Pantheon of God versus my deity's a choice. I told him, you ain't leave me with a choice. Mischievous voice, I use it as a weapon. And when it form against you, you best to get to stepping. You get your reps in, you trying to get your weight up. Thank the savior and get an A for good behavior. It's looking major like the damage that I used to rock. Get the coup de grace, move a crowd that just loom around. You knew the bounce from the second that the track start. We like an Aztec pyramid, mad hard.
And we are back here on the Struggle is Real Buffalo Music Podcast. That was Coup de Grace by Trey Ocho. And next up, we're going to talk about ourselves. It's been 89 episodes, and I haven't indulged myself like this.
Sure.
So this seems like the appropriate time.
Well, it's almost like we don't get to the why we're doing what we're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a really
We talk
good point.
about the how we're doing what we're doing. We talk about the struggle of actually applying podcasting, you know?
Yeah.
Right? But we don't get to the why so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it.
Okay.
So, I graduated from the College of St. Rose in 2004 with my degree in music industry. 2 years prior to that, 500,000 jobs got eliminated in the music industry because of downloading Napster. I would more be apt to blame it on tepid, horrible albums that had one good song that you had to pay $20 for, but, you know.
The future always happens, and it happens, changing times happen to every industry, but at that moment, it was not the best, most planted
Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah, it's not so great.
No one that I graduated with got a job in the industry right off the bat. Like, a few of us now are doing it, but, like, people went off and did all sorts of, like, one of the guys I graduated with was the women's lacrosse coach at Wesleyan. Just weird stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I worked for about 10 years. I worked a bunch of odd jobs. I was an insurance claims processor. I tested toys. I worked in social media.
That'd be fun. Like,
I
very
could do a
big
whole
style.
episode
Right.
about talking about testing toys. That was wild.
Different podcast.
Absolutely. So then in 2013, I had an illness that I've had since I was a kid called mitochondrial myopathy, and it starting from about 9 years old, it was causing problems, and eventually it just got to the point where the stress from work was too much for me to handle. With mitochondrial myopathy, the mitochondria in the body, which are the powerhouse of the cell.
I've heard that terminology.
Yes, it's the only thing
Little
anyone
battery
knows
guys.
when I say
Yeah.
mitochondria. Mine don't generate enough energy for my cells to work properly. So when the body is looking for energy and it can't find it, it attacks itself. So I have narcolepsy. I have chronic pain, chronic fatigue. I've had chronic nausea for, oh my God, I'm so old. 23 years, more than half my life now. That's wild. So eventually it just got so stressful. I was throwing up on the way to work. I was falling asleep on the way in. Like, it was a mess.
Dangerous, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, you take those first couple weeks off and you're like, vacation forever.
Right.
And then like a week later, you're like, vacation forever.
Right.
And I kind of I didn't know what to do with myself for a couple years. And then I was in a band. And I wanted to start a podcast. It was supposed to be a video game podcast. Just
Right.
imagine how different everything would be if I ended up
I
finding
wouldn't be
that.
here.
Neither would I. So we wanted it. So, I couldn't find anyone for my video game podcast, so I tapped into Dennis, and I'm like, do you want to start a music podcast? And I just needed someone to do the editing because I really didn't want to do the editing.
Sure.
And I didn't quite have the equipment either. So we started the podcast. In the first 8 episodes, we begged people to come on. Like, it was hard to get guests.
Mm-hmm.
And then for some reason, after that first season of 8 episodes, it got a lot easier. And I was adding people on Facebook constantly, and I added someone who said that they were looking for someone to take their place at Buffalo Infringement Festival.
Well, Dennis Reed, as I'd met him during the Folk Face
Yes.
Festival, strangely camped out right next to my camp spot. We just find out in 3 minutes of conversation, oh, you're the co-host on the podcast that I helped start with Ryan. How funny the whole scene is. But
oh yeah, it's not a small city. It's a big room.
That's right. But his involvement was for the first how many episodes?
Ooh, I want to say about 20,
Right.
give or take.
Because there were some changes out in lineup as well.
Oh yeah,
And
there've
there've
always been.
a bunch of co-host fill-ins throughout.
Not a lot of co-host fill-ins.
I feel great to have been a staple co-host in this podcast. I similarly attended SUNY Oneonta for music industry. Getting there in 2004. Graduating in 07, 08, not the best time for things. You felt
absolutely.
you felt for certain that the people that were teaching you were also not sure how to navigate the current climate of the industry.
I completely agree
right?
with that.
And so while they had a lot to lend from their experience, it wasn't applicable to the changing time, in a way that was monetized.
That's a really good point.
Right?
I hadn't thought of that.
So I don't feel like my internships with Ani DeFranco or with Hall Walls with Steve Etchkowski were a bad time. I learned things.
Sure.
But I understood that neither of those organizations were in a real big spot where they could afford to hire and provide me more than waitressing.
Sure.
And banquet serving. And I did have more of an opportunity then to attend and organize shows and certainly to volunteer. When I was telling someone the other day how I volunteered with Music is Art since it was on Franklin Street and starting as a festival to begin with, I feel very grateful for all of the volunteer opportunities that Western New York music scene has lent me, but none of that was jobbable, right?
Of course.
And so everybody's trying to find their niche, right?
Yeah.
Our interns now.
Sure.
From Fredonia and people who we've been able to talk through in other music programs are in the same boat.
Absolutely.
Really.
No, I mean, not a lot has changed. There's certainly, I feel like there's more opportunities in the entertainment industry now than there was before.
But now we can tap into our own social networks for structure and monetization and support.
Absolutely.
Artists who are trying to fund their albums and having subscription-based, not the GoFundMe of the arts, the Patreon kind of scenario is really a way to have community support your efforts.
Absolutely.
And extend your community.
Yeah. So as far as the podcast goes, we're going to launch our Patreon. We're going to have a simple pay what you wish monthly subscription fee that'll give people access to outtakes. We're going to record some extra stuff. Even down the line, I like the idea of doing some like private like concerts and
right.
like
top secret
in a place like
released.
this, in this great studio we have,
Beautiful
a Guitar
spot like
Factory. So and we're also going to bring back some of our older things. I believe that was one of your first episodes. I think we did Asking for the Hurt.
Oh, right.
With Asterbula, where for $5 a month we will insult you on the podcast for a minute.
If you're into that sort of thing.
there'll be a couple small things like that, but it's mainly just going to be a subscription program. It's going to help us keep the gear we need upgraded between software, computers. This laptop that we're reading the script off of is a replacement of the one that broke in August.
Sure.
With everything we're doing, we're just trying to raise a little money to kind of keep things moving and make this something that we can do.
And we've had so many people working with us. We've talked about how
absolutely.
Brandon's been able to be so very helpful in his engineering capabilities and hooking things up and the things that we need the most, right?
Absolutely.
And so to be able to fund this cause is not so. I do kind of feel like I'm WBFO and I'm like, please pledge now, but that's also at the same
what
time.
It is, to be honest. I'm okay with that.
Right. I mean, if I enjoy something and I'm like, oh, that's definitely worth a cup of coffee to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'll take
a cup of coffee.
I'll take anything, guys. No. We want to keep doing what we're doing. We want to keep promoting guests. If we can raise more money, we can do more things. We can have more content. We can include more artists. So there's really a lot we can do with that. And then shifting over to westernnewyorkmusic.com, that's kind of more of a big project. The goal of westernnewyorkmusic.com is to make it a non-for-profit. I would love to be able to do it by the end of this year, but we'll see. Basically, it's about $1,200 to file for the 501c for your non-for-profit. And in the last 3 years, we've had 25 4-credit interns.
Right.
Mostly from Fredonia, but we've also had some from Buff State, Geneseo, and we just got our first from Villa.
Right.
So, you mentioned your internship. I interned at a place called Ted Kurland Associates, which was like the third biggest jazz booking agency in the country. They found out I could file the first week, and that was it.
We've heard about your epic
Yeah,
filing.
I talk about it all the time, but I mean, that is something that really does motivate me to give interns and the people who want to come in here.
Tangible application of their skill set, and maybe even to grow their skill set.
Like, it's so rare that I'll ask someone to, like, grab lunch.
Right.
My interns, but like when I was an intern, that was just
every day.
Yeah, like go get a coffee, go do that.
Right.
So like, and with everything we're doing between the podcast, in the studio, the live music podcast, westernnewyorkmusic.com, booking shows. There's also a YouTube channel. We allow students to really pick and choose what they want to intern on. Like if you just want to do video editing, you can do that. I'm not going to make you do something else just because you're an intern. I'm going to have you doing what you want, and we're also going to make it flexible for our students so that they're not stressed out during the semester. Hours for these internships, they vary, and I try not to stick with hard deadlines because I think it gives students a chance to just relax, get the work done at their own pace.
There are enough deadlines already.
Exactly. So the initial goal is to raise $1,200 so we can file for our non-for-profit stuff, and then we can start hiring people. We can start doing a better job of providing these services to students. I really like the idea of talking, once we get all this set up, of talking with local musicians about doing like video and streaming master classes that we can do for students. Even just, talking with, having Branden, for example, do a 20-minute tutorial on recording that these kids can use, or talking with Armand Petrie over at Fredonia a bit more about how he's got involved with managing bands and stuff.
Right.
There's so many different places that we can get this information from. It's just a matter of having that extra money because, we have to make money. We have rent to pay, so you can only put in so much time with what you have. But, the goal of this for me is I want westernnewyorkmusic.com to be the thing I leave when I leave this scene. And I want to have something set up so...
Don't leave the scene, Ryan.
I'm not planning on it for a while, but I want to have something in place that's there to help other people after I'm gone, and that I can also do to help people now with giving them jobs. So that's what this is about.
And to have that hub and community in a place, as you've mentioned, the catalog of local artists through WesternNewYorkMusic.com is vast and growing. And you can have that as your landing page and your homepage if you don't have an artist website right now. It's separate from your social media or whatever. You know.
But and if you and just so people know too, auditing that list, that's like almost an hour a day for me as a process. You know, I've taken off about 15 to 20 bands in the last month. I've added photos for over probably 200 bands in the last month. And I even have a list now of like 18 more bands that need to be added. Like keeping up on this is really a full-time gig. And if we want to get back to having components like the message board, which is the thing, people are always asking me about the message board. They love the message board. We need moderators.
Sure.
So like things like that, we can add that. It's just at some point there needs to be the money in place to give us the opportunities to do that. So I just want to keep providing as much as I can.
And to change with the times.
Absolutely. I want to keep making this better. I want to keep giving artists a way to promote themselves. I want to keep doing all of it. So the best way we can do that is for you guys to check out our Patreon pages. Even if it's just $1 or $2, like every cent counts. I know I don't have the Patreon links set up yet.
Oh my gosh, Ryan.
It's been a long week.
Well, when this launches, this episode, we'll be able to find links to
there
our
will be
Patreon
links available for where you'll go. Well, the problem is I tried rolling it all into one giant Patreon. It was struggling productions. It included the podcast, WesternNewYorkMusic.com, and the YouTube channel.
Right now.
And it was just kind of like, it was an experiment.
Right.
Of just giving you every fucking option you can have and just throwing it at the wall. It failed. But sometimes you do that. So we're gonna separate the two. We're gonna simplify it, and we're gonna move forward from there.
I'm ready.
Yeah, let's do this.
Hey, what's gonna happen next? Gonna play some music?
We're gonna play some music.
What's our music?
So this is a song called "Cash Go Far."
Cash Go Far.
There you go. By 45 Gov't and Miggie Jean.
Awesome.
And 45 Govt's played a bunch of the hip hop shows I've been doing lately, and they're a really energetic duo, and I love the energy they bring on stage. They kind of remind me of like a younger Chucky Campbell in the way they produce their music.
And you're just accidentally poetic with the Cash Go Far and the Patreon being in sync like that?
That's almost as good of a coincidence as when we played 77 by 77 Stone on episode
that
77.
Was rough. That was
weird. So we'll be right back, and I'm going to play a game with Cassidy. So
I get to play the game!
You get to play the game! Yes. So we'll be right back here on the Struggle is Real Buffalo Music Podcast on WesternNewYorkMusic.com.
Times hard, buried billions in the yard. Big leather duffel, Maison, Goyard. Done bought the yachts and a watch and a car. Got a house for the fam, but the cash go far. Times hard, Parker Brinks in the yard. Bands all day, on my back, fear of God. If you wanna play, you better go hard. Yeah, put them hands up and show me who you are.
Being broke ain't no joke, I ain't laughing. I got cash on my mind, no capping. I guess high off the green, true rapping. Think of going home? Take a shot then. I'm so sick of the rich getting richer. I've been at the bottom and it ain't getting cheaper. Dreaming of white picket fence in a yard. Big banks make my pussy say what? I was in the dungeon working 24/5. They didn't wanna see me win, but still I rise. Now I glowed up, I fought for my life. They threw the sink at me, I ain't supposed to be alive. Boss moves about to get me my groove. Think fast, I got something to prove. I'm a poet, so you know the bar's rude. If I wasn't spitting facts, how I got you in the mood, huh?
Times hard, use a moat in the yard. Wise in my bag, Maison, Goyard. Unbought the yachts and a watch and a car. Got a house for the fam, but the cash go far. Yeah. Times hard, Parker Brinks in the yard. Bands all day, on my back, fear of God. If you wanna play, you better go hard. Yeah, put the hands up, yeah, show me who you are.
A counterfeiter call me if I make another rag. Cause I'm lacking all the facts, but back in the tax bracket. Nothing racks, I'm an addict, my pen will tell her the magic. Yeah, the house in Calabasas and my rentals up in Aspen. Imagine what a pain in the ass to have to manage a mansion that fucking massive and having to pay to staff it. I ain't selfish bastard, what I got you never having. How I rock the finest fabricates, spade and all my glass. Trying to be a savage and speaking on bank accounts. Cause earning above the average is something to brag about. Bitches baggage in the back of the Lambo with no amount. Trying to slide into the passenger side to chase clout. Bitch, get your silly ass all up on the car. Got the foreign on lease, but the cash goes far. Got the 101 apartment On the wall, the gallery of art. Better put their hands up, fucking show me who you are, yeah.
Times hard, buried billions in the yard. Big leather duffel, Maison, Goyard. Done bought the yachts and a watch and the cars. Have a house for the fam, but the cash go far. Times hard, Parker Brinks in the yard. Bands all day, I'm a back fear of God. If you wanna play, you better go hard. Yeah, put them hands up and show me who you are. Times hard, do say moat in the yard. Wise in my bag, Maison, Goyard. Done bought the yachts and a watch and the cars. Have a house for the fam, but the cash go far. Times hard, Parker Brinks in the yard. Bands all day, I'm a back fear of God. If you wanna play, you better go hard. Yeah, put them hands up and show me who you are.
Turn it up, always down for a threesome. Money, power, respect, that's what all I've been on. The haves and the have-nots, my people, you've been raped. It's insane, but it's ingrained. I'm trying to get a bag right now. Trying to spit the real, but perform like clowns. I can keep it real if that's food out my mouth. Stay in your lane or get played in this game. On the edge of no damn reason. These overseas waxing, but it's a new season. Hex disaster, committing treason. More to these spots, I'm too damn seasoned. In a cubicle next to Bob. She been mediocre, so it ain't that bad. But I'm too dope to be down this bad. Tied to month pay, how I'm supposed to swag.
Times hard, buried billions in the yard. Big leather duffel, Maison, Goyard. Done bought the yachts and a watch and the cars. Have a house for the fam, but the cash go far.
yeah.
And we're back here on the Struggle is Real Buffalo Music Podcast. That was Cash Go Far by 45 Gov't and Miggie Jean. And we forgot to throw it over to Branden in the last segment.
I think we should talk to Branden, especially as we're talking about the component of financing.
And apparently because Branden is giving himself a mic now.
Well, he should be at the ready. He's the sound engineer.
Hey, Branden.
Well, I only gave myself a mic because we're actually talking about ourselves. So, you know.
I want to talk about you. It's your
all I
turn.
can hear is my own reverb in my ears.
Oh, that's weird. Can we just make
Yeah,
it like?
it's weird.
Can we get like a police artist to sketch Branden so we can
I
have
know.
like a sketch of him to put on
Be
the
like,
screen
Branden
while he's
looks
talking?
like this.
Here I am. I'm on screen.
Should I sketch
Hi,
him?
everybody.
Oh, he's here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Joining us live from the other side of the room, Branden.
Yeah, so, first of all, I love being able to do this with you guys and the Buffalo music community. As you guys were saying, like when we all went to school for this, the industry was collapsing and the pay structures were all changing, and there was no guidance at all. And if we're honest about it, it wasn't until the recent events and the current tech came out and everything going to YouTube and the financialization of podcasts that we've been even able to talk about what a local music economy looks like. So to be able to get together here with such a passionate group of people and build communities off of local businesses and people who are already working together, I feel like it's the first opportunity we've ever had in our adult lives to actually attack the problem, actually find ways to take the burden off the venues and create other music income streams. And between you guys and then Jamie and Jay at the Guitar Factory and then the crew over at Villa, like, I feel like we have something special going on. And it's hard to lead and it's hard to fail in public, but we just all have to do it together, right? Right?
Oh, it's easy to fail in
Oh,
public.
it's
Be like,
easy to
if
fail
you do it
in
a few
public.
times, falling in the mud
Right.
feels just fine.
Yeah, but this ability to be able to bring so many different artists on and interview them and do live shows and then do the streams on my Buffalo Streams live platform, we're just really trying to find a way to bring access to everybody and to give everybody the resources to create their own online income. And it's really an opportunity for us to stop battling and competing with each other.
Yes, absolutely.
Community-wide, we have a reset switch in front of us. We have nowhere to go but forward. We have a new format that doesn't have any rules.
Right, and we're fostering this content and
Right, and we fell at it and we beat ourselves up, and that's okay. And all you guys who listen to us and who are part of it, you do too. And all we have to do here is just keep failing ourselves together better. You know, so I want to just take a minute to shout out a couple things that are great. Like I already said, Guitar Factory. These guys have done so much and changed so much and come up with a whole new business structure to try to fit the new economy.
Absolutely, and we can't thank them enough for letting us use their studio here.
It's
This is so nice.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at everything they've done for us. This is
Absolutely.
beautiful. So their efforts to make sure they stay around, so local music stores are still here. The venues that have adapted and made efforts and tried to live stream. Nothing but props for the Band Together Buffalo crew,
Right.
who is doing everything they can to put together production. And let's just keep doing it. Let's reach out. Let's get in our uncomfortable places. Let's make new friendships and groups. Let's collaborate with old enemies, because we've all got them.
Oh, yes.
So I just wanted to say, like, this is great. Thanks to everyone who's listening and watching.
Absolutely.
And we're just going to try to keep you posted. It's hard to build businesses. It's hard to accept that some of the things we want to do as a commune for free, actually we can't keep doing unless we create some type of income source for it. And we can't help you guys do it either. So as we go, we're just going to be honest and open. We're going to talk about structures. We're going to talk about the way businesses are built. I am independent from Guitar Factory. Buffalo Streams Live is my own company. It's an LLC. Struggling Productions is its own company. This podcast is independent. We're going to try to make WNY Music a non-for-profit. And please do the same, guys. Like, in your bands and in your groups and in your own little collaborations, do the same, and we can help you. Just reach out. We'll be here. You know where to find us on all of our social media. And hey, Buffalo, keep it real.
Nice. Well put. Wait. Hold on.
Did you have little crib notes? That was very poetic.
Yes.
No, that was off the top of my head.
Well, I'm glad that you were
Cassie,
Well, thank you.
There's a game.
I'm trying to cheat.
I know you're trying to cheat, and I'm stopping you.
Oh, no.
But yeah, thanks, Brandon. That was very well said.
Absolutely.
So, Cassie, you get to play the game this time, and I don't even know where this idea came from. So first off, I found a list online of the worst people of the 21st century.
Says who? Where did the list come from?
I just closed it,
Okay,
so I
good,
don't
fine.
know. But I just
Someone
want to say,
else's list.
this is not my list.
Okay.
Because someone's going to get angry about someone who might be on this list, and that's not the point of this game.
Are you happy that you have my soundboard and you get to do the thumbs up and the rant row?
Yes, I'm very happy.
Okay.
All right. Number 1. According to one of his mistresses, Saddam Hussein's favorite song was Strangers in the Night by Frank Sinatra.
I wanted it to be like, let the body set the fire. I'm going to say it's true.
That is correct.
Strangers in the night.
I was a little surprised by that, to be
That's
honest.
a little weird. I've got like Saddam Hussein's face like on a little cartoon dancing body to that song. My brain works weird.
Aw.
All right, I won.
Next season on
Keep
South
going.
Park.
Keep winning.
All right, when Osama bin Laden's hideout was cleared out, over 1,500 audio cassettes were found. Most of the recordings were traditional Afghani music or recordings of his famous speeches, but people were really confused when they found a single Phil Collins tape in his collection.
Oh. I'm going to say no.
That is correct.
Yeah!
Let's give Osama bin Laden a little bit of credit on his music
Phil
taste.
Collins' people wouldn't allow for that. Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe he just likes doing the drum part on the
Like
stage.
Genesis, only Genesis.
All right, number 3. You're 2 for your.
Listen, we don't want to jinx it.
Okay. Apparently, Kim Jong-un and I share a favorite performer, Andrew WK. It's
Oh.
believed that Jong-un was apprehensive about endorsing a Western artist, but this changed after Dennis Rodman's
I'm
trip
thinking
to North
about
Korea.
Dennis Rodman. I'm thinking about that. Would Rodman listen to Andrew WK? Yeah. I mean, okay, yes.
That is correct again.
All right.
You are slaying
Killing
this.
it.
Yes, you watch enough of these games and you figure it out.
I'm ready. I know how your mind
Yes,
these games.
you know my bullshit. All right, Muammar Gaddafi, commonly known as Colonel Gaddafi, was a Libyan revolutionary politician and a political theorist.
I'm kind of sad about how he. Never mind. We won't talk about my politics.
He also loved More, More, More by the Andrea True Connection from 1976.
Like more.
Yeah, and it gives me an opportunity. I looked at it. I played the song for 30 seconds and just heard Mo, Mo, Mo. Muammar Gaddafi, Muammar Gaddafi.
I love that.
Right?
That's why he would like it.
Absolutely.
Oh, he would like it. Yeah, he liked it.
Oh, I am
Fudge.
sorry.
Fudge, I was doing so well. I could still win.
I have to give my friend Sean Fox credit for that because he actually sang that song to me 20 years ago.
Ugh.
And I
love that
saw
song.
Gaddafi and I'm like, yeah, I'm using
No,
that.
but oh my God. Okay, never mind.
Though a 2018 TikTok user erroneously claimed that Donald Trump's favorite song was Iris by Buffalo's own Goo Goo Dolls, it is actually Peggy Lee's Is That All There Is?
I don't know if either of those. Wait, we're saying no. Like the Iris could just be a made-up thing. His actual song is. Yeah, that could be his favorite song, maybe.
That is correct.
All right,
you
all
are
right.
4 for 5.
Yes, buddy.
All right, it might get harder here.
Well, C's get degrees.
We'll see. During the 2016 election cycle, Hillary Clinton has praised female acts including Selena Gomez, Lana Del Rey, and Lady Gaga.
True.
You're slaying this.
Yeah, I know.
One more and you win.
Thanks.
All right. It was only after his passing that it was discovered that Kim Jong II had a uniquely large collection of Spice Girls merchandise.
Oh. No.
Damn it, you're right.
All right.
Well, you've already won, but we're going to keep going.
She's already won.
If I had more time, this would have been harder, but that's what she said. Vladimir Putin has always claimed a preference for Russian singers and songs. However, the atmospheric and moody music of Pink Floyd remains one of his favorites to this day.
Does Putin dig Pink Floyd? Maybe.
Maybe's not an answer for this game.
Almost doesn't count, huh? I'm going to say no.
You are correct. Oh, Jesus. All right, 2 more. If you get both of these right, you tie for the best score ever.
Yay!
With,
Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. I'm getting
with
too excited.
Chad from Brookhaven, who got a way easier game than this. That's why I want you to do this.
Okay, here we go.
The New York Times published an iPod playlist of George W. Bush's. Caitlin Moran from the London Times noted at the time, no black artists, no gay artists, no world music, only one woman, no genre less than 25 years old, and no Beatles.
Probably true.
And finally, Kim Kardashian's playlist includes pretty obvious picks like Alanis Morissette, Kanye West, and Beyonce, but also includes numerous tracks from 60s singer-songwriter-poet Leonard Cohen.
I hope that's true. I hope it is. Girl's going to law school. I don't think she's as dumb as she looks. True.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not only do you
I don't
not
keep
tie
up with the
for the best,
Kardashians.
Kim Kardashian is clearly not as smart as you think she is.
I'm sorry, Kim.
All right, let's. Well, I'm gonna grab a prize.
Do I get a winning prize?
Yes.
Woo! Santa Claus is coming to town. Do I need a cupcake? Do I get a cupcake?
I know.
No, I'm not getting. Ryan's rustling in his bag of tricks over there.
Almost there.
You know, you offered me the cupcake before the show. I was super stoked, and then I completely forgot till just now.
You can. There's a half a dozen mini cupcakes. You're welcome to them.
I'm totally in.
What I get?
Well, Cassidy's going to Puerto Rico
I am.
soon, so I'm going to give you a collection of music.
Okay.
So first off, a digital code for Tom Petty's Into the Great Wide Open.
Okay.
My favorite Tom Petty album. I think it fuses like the really good songwriting of his.
Ha ha. You pick the white one?
I think it mixes his really great songwriting in the 80s with like improved engineering in the 90s, and I think that's my favorite album of his. I also have Flogging Molly's Within a Mile of Home.
I know Flogging Molly. I will be.
I would
not
argue
Within
that
a Mile
that
of
is
Home.
their best album without question.
All right.
And I'll throw in one more because it's how long's the plane ride?
Oh, it's a while. I have a layover in New York too.
Okay, yeah, you need this music. Here's a copy of The Eves, Learning to Live in the Dark.
Oh, very good.
A fantastic local album. You can find it on record at your local Revolver Records.
How awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank
so,
you.
congratulations on kicking ass. You have a very good understanding of the music that horrible people like.
And not of Kim Kardashian. Thanks you. Very good, very good, very good.
And the moral is, bad morals do not equal bad taste.
Oh, I wish the same thing had a rim shot on it. All right, we are going to play a song. This is Move Over by Sir Quillz.
Move Over.
He is a new local rapper.
Nice.
And I heard this song. I really like it. I think it's got a good groove. I like his flow. So check that out, and we'll be right back to finish off the podcast here on the Struggle is Real Buffalo Music Podcast.
Oh, I didn't want to bomb.
On WesternNewYorkMusic.com.
I wanted to rock it. I thought the bomb was a rocket.
SQ Music. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, my G, but I'm here now. So here's what I'm gonna need y'all to do for me. Move over. It's time to bum rush the game. It's your boy SQ. Don't forget the name. All you whack MCs, pay me your respects, cause I'm about to give you busters a reality check. So open your ears, pay attention and take notes. A real lyricist, never spitting on fake quotes. I stay steady, showing my skill, I'm about that. If you think that I'ma slip on the track, I doubt that. Nah, I got every hood feeling my sound, hitting bullseyes from verbally shooting these rounds all year long, fall, winter, spring, and summer. Not from Oklahoma City, but I bring that thunder. Semi-automatic flow, and no, I'm not gonna stop. Greatness on my mind, I'm going straight to the top. So if you wanna join me, then come along for the ride. If you ain't down with that, keep it moving and step aside. Move over, don't get up out of my way. SQ's in the game, and I'm ready to play. Move over, y'all need to step to the rear. Be clear, I'm here, so the end is near. Move over, don't get up out of my way. SQ's in the game, and I'm ready to play. Move over, y'all need to step to the rear. Be clear, I'm here, so the end is near. Move over. Verse 2, listen and learn. I'm not giving up my spot that I already earned. Spitting trash makes it more easy to skip your turn. I got a flow that's more slicker than A-Verb's perm. Now, I'ma treat the mic like a blunt, so let me hit it. Give me the ball so I can take it and run with it. I'm far from a rookie, I've been doing this for a minute. Wanna jump in front of me in the line? You can forget it. I'm impatiently waiting just to make my mark. I'ma shine in the light while y'all get left in the dark. The only outcome from me crushing these beats, SQ music bumping all over these streets. Any haters plan to stop my mission, don't even try. Cause all haters get two middle fingers in the sky. Too busy wasting your time, you need to get a clue. Just watch out for the hook and that'll tell you what to do. Move over, don't get up out of my way. SQ's in the game and I'm ready to play. Move over, y'all need to step to the rear. Be clear, I'm here so the end is near. Move over, don't get up out of my way. SQ's in the game and I'm ready to play. Move over, y'all need to step to the rear. Be clear, I'm here so the end is near. Move over. Move over.
All right, folks, that was Move Over by Sir Quillz here on the Struggle is Real Buffalo Music Podcast on WesternNewYorkMusic.com. And that's all we have for episode 89.
How interesting not having a guest. Who is our next guest?
Our next guest on episode 90 is going to be actor, rapper, and singer Jay Aquarius.
Love it.
He's got some brand new music. He's been sending me new tracks like crazy lately, so we've got a bunch of cool new music to share and more. I want to first give. I had this in here already. I wanted to give special thanks to Branden and Buffalo Streams Live, the fine folks here at Guitar Factory, for letting us use their studio, and John Galbo, our editor and assistant producer. You got anything else, Cassidy?
I feel as though there are good times ahead, Ryan.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah, we're gonna kick some ass.
Burgeoning, ass-kicking times.
Absolutely. Rising
Awesome.
like a fucking phoenix.
We're ready for
A
it.
phoenix! All right. Guys, things are tough right now, but I actually feel like they're getting better, right? I think they are. So just keep being kind to one another, and we're all going to get through this together. So keep on struggling.
Do I have a thumbs up? Thumbs up, Ryan.
me just say what nobody else wants to say to
What?
you. Your looks have become a problem.